there is actually no entry for dreamers by itself under D. All right. I looked under D, and there's no entry for dreamers. I looked for DACA under D. There's no entry for DACA. But if you look under the immigration entry under I, you'll see that this is like a little mini encyclopedia here of all these little other terms. Okay, like a little mini glossary of immigration terms that you, as a writer, you as a reporter, if you're covering immigration or an immigration issue, you would want to know. All right. So it does have immigration here. It talks about illegal immigration here. It talks about the DREAM Act and Dreamers. All right. And you can see the way they write it is DREAM, all capital letters there. But Dreamers, you need to use quote marks, okay? Because it's not just necessarily in the language like a word that everybody uses, but it needs to be in quotes. And this explains why. It tells you about this program that I described, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which is DACA. All right, and then also on some other terms, asylum, refugee, etc., etc. All right. What I find in this entry, though, under Dreamers, it says that Dreamers should be placed in quotation marks in this context, all right, when I'm writing about them, because it's a usage that's derived from the DREAM Act, so it's connected to that meaning. It doesn't mean just people who are dreaming in this context. So we give it a special. We put in quotations. We put it up in uppercase. And the style book also does some things like they don't want to treat it casually as an accepted term. They also recognize that it has a certain point of view. All right. The term dreamers has been adopted or coined by people who essentially support protection for these people, right? Dreamers is a very aspirational, very positive word, right? They didn't call them children of illegal immigrants. They call them dreamers. So there's definitely a point of view associated with that word. And what the style book tells you is that this is the term of choice for people who support the rights of these immigrants. Okay. On the other hand, there are some people who do not support the rights of these immigrants. So they don't use the word dreamers. They might use a word like illegals or something like that. That is not in the style. We don't use the word illegals. All right. But at the same time, if we use the word dreamers, we put it in quotes, but we explain why we use that